Good morning, everyone. A few days ago, I posted to Instagram and YouTube that we hit 20,000 subscribers, which is insane. And I promised to make a question answer video if you have any questions. And I got some questions, so I think it's time to give the answers. It's still a bit cold here, but because we don't have the window there, I think we can manage this. And by the way, I try to answer every question if it doesn't take too long. And these questions are, some of them are from Instagram and most of them are from YouTube. So the first question, how much did you pay for the logs? Roughly. And what is the difference between your calculated costs and real costs? Alright. So first of all, I didn't write down all the costs that came from this cabin. So these are really rough costs. But you know, this didn't cost too much for me. First of all, because all the wood in this cabin is from my property, so the wood itself didn't cost anything. But then when we milled these logs in the sawmill nearby, it cost about 400 euros, I think. And we got all the logs and a lot of boards and all kinds of stuff there. And not everything went to this cabin, so I still have a lot of wood there, lumber and all kind of stuff. And then we have the roof. There's the water roof that I bought from the hardware store. It was maybe 300 euros about. And then the stove, that was sponsored for me, so I didn't pay anything. But I think it would have been more than 1,000 euros for this stove. But obviously you can get cheaper if you like. And then basically the only wooden stuff I bought for this cabin is the floor, and it cost maybe, I don't know, 100 euros about. And then the windows, and as you know, for this smaller window I already did the frame myself, and then this bigger window I'm currently working on. You can see some stuff behind me. So, but you know, I had to buy the window elements, and those were together maybe 150 euros. And then we have the permissions. There's another question about permissions, so I will give you more information about that later, but the permission was maybe like 100 or 200 euros, I don't remember exactly. So in total about 1,000 euros, so that's not very much, but you know, almost everything is done by myself, so a lot of hours, but not so much money. And Joas is asking when the cabin is done and will there be a new project. So when the cabin is done, I don't know. I would say never. There's always something, small details I need to work on, but I would say anyway that it will be fully functional in very soon. I need to install this big window and insulate the roof, so then I think it's functional and I can start using this as a workshop. And there will be new projects. I'm not gonna promise anything, like you know, I do what I feel I like to do at the moment, but anyway, there will be a, for example, greenhouse behind me, behind this wall, maybe timber frame greenhouse. And by the way, this board there's a little window opening, so I'm not sure yet what I'm gonna do with that, but the idea there is that I can open some kind of window and heat up the greenhouse if needed. And then at some point I might build a sauna and all kinds of little projects, and maybe even something else than building stuff, like nature related stuff, but we will see. And Wesa is asking, I'm wondering how you never seems to sweat in the videos. Okay, that's a good one. Well, I promise I do sweat at times, especially in summer when I was building the roof. It was really hot. But my brothers always ask the same. So I do not sweat that much actually. I don't know why, but sometimes it's good and sometimes not so good. And then, are there something that you wish you had done different? Any tools you wish you had you didn't? And was it worth to do it yourself? Absolutely. I've learned so much, and it's so much fun to do it myself. I don't know. I think you can get it when you watch the videos. But anyway, about the tools, I think a smaller chainsaw would have been useful at times. I only have this big one and it's really heavy and not very handy when you are doing some small details. However, I just got this. My brother borrowed this to me, and this is just a normal angle grinder, and there's this chainsaw type blade, and this is really handy. I mean, you can do really small details and it works pretty much like a chainsaw. And I will use this when I'm going to install the windows or the big window. And then I don't have a table saw, so when you have to split some thick lumber, I have done it with this, but it's really tough. I mean, it takes a lot of batteries and a lot of time. And actually, you saw in one video that I rented a big table saw for a couple of days, and I did as much stuff as I could, and what I knew that I will need in this cabin. So that was kind of good idea, and in the future, not sure if I'm gonna buy one, but it would be handy. But you can do actually, if you don't have to do like tens of big lumber, you can easily do it with this. So let's see. But anyway, renting stuff is sometimes a good idea. And then the big question and big dream for me is a portable sawmill. And yes, that would be great. I mean, when we did these logs, I asked my neighbor to transport everything to the sawmill with his tractor, and well, it would have been really nice to make all the logs in place here, and then of course you can do a lot of other stuff too. But the problem is that they are really expensive and I don't need it all the time. I mean, maybe 2 times a year I would need it. So, not sure if that's a very good investment, but I was actually talking with my friend that maybe we should buy together. Who knows? That would be great. But other than that, I mean, I use pretty simple tools and nothing really that I would need. Yes, I think that's it. Greetings from St. Petersburg. As far as I remember, it's gonna be a workshop in there. Will it be a workshop for hand tools only, or are you planning to use some power instruments too? Looks pretty small. Yes, it is very small. So as I said, I might buy some bigger tools like table saw in the future. If I can find some good, very small, compact table saw, I might put it here. But then I also was considering that I would buy a bigger one and put it behind this wall, and I will build their cover for that. Don't know yet, but anyway, for me, like I mostly enjoy working on hand tools. So that's one reason why this small workshop will work for me. I like always when I have to wear ear protection, it's too much noise for me. So, but you know, I have limited amount of time for this project, so whenever it's possible I will use hand tools, but every now and then I have to use these power tools. So yes, mostly for hand tools, this workshop anyway. And another question about the little fan on your stove. How does it work? It works when the hot air rises and it will turn the wheel or the fan. I think it works great. It's actually very strong. And I will put a link to the description so you can buy one if you like it. And another question from Russia. And this is in Russia, so I don't exactly know what it's about. But I used Google Translate and I think it's about, is the finish soon? We are already building a year. Well, that's true. It has taken a long time. Sorry for that. But, you know, I have all kinds of things to do. I have kids and I have I'm running a business and a big garden and everything. I'm just working here like whenever I can find time. So it takes a long time. But as I said, hopefully when I install this window and insulate the roof, we are ready to use this cabin. From Serbia, I'm wondering what is the height of the cabin from floor to roof, and is there enough space on loft for beds or small storage? On the loft, I think you can sleep. I haven't tried that yet. I will try whenever I get the window there. And about the height, let's see. Let's take the highest point. Okay, it's a bit more than 3 meters, so it's pretty high. Jason asks, did you need any permits to build? Is the cabin on land you own? Yes, it is. Actually, it's in my backyard. In some videos I think you saw the house itself, but I try to keep some privacy, so don't film there too much. And yes, I needed permission for this cabin, and I think the reason is this stove. Whenever you have a fireplace, I think you need a permission. The cabin is very small, so I think otherwise it could work without permission. But anyway, I have it. But it was pretty simple thing. I mean, I draw the picture myself, and it cost about 100 euros maybe. And another Russian question. Not sure about that. Maybe it's asking about the roof. So as I said, I will insulate it soon, hopefully. Have everything gone like planned, or have there been any bigger issues between plans and reality? Have you calculated working hours? I have not, and I don't want to even know how many hours I used here. And yes, everything went pretty much as I planned. No bigger issues so far. I mean, when you're building a log cabin, the shrinking is always might be the issue. So I try to keep this in mind, and then it should work pretty well. And of course, the foundation is another thing that I have a lot of questions. Not in this case, not in this post, but earlier. So I think it works pretty well because the soil is in really dry and good quality. So the foundation is really like super simple and cheap. I love how it looks. So no issues there so far. Do you plan to rent the cabin? No, as I said, it's in my backyard. However, I think kids want to sleep here sometimes, and some of my friends too. They have already asked about that. And me too, if it gets too noisy in our home, I will come here and have some rest. Johannes from Germany. I don't know how do you pronounce your name, but my brother is Johannes too, and that's how we call it here. What is your normal job when you are not working on the cabin? Well, in my day job has nothing to do with cabins or logs or woodworking. As I said, I'm running a business with my brothers, and we are on media field. We are working on 3D animations and video productions and software development. So it's really different, and that's kind of building cabin is exactly what I need when I'm not working in my business. So, and yes, there is more about this question. Was someone in your family a woodworker, so that you got some skills from them, or was it everything learning by doing? Oh yes, it was basically learning by doing. I mean, in my childhood home, I don't think my father did too much woodworking. Well, he was working in the garden very much, so that's something I learned, and I'm trying to do here too. But woodworking, it was mostly like all kinds of projects you can imagine little boys want to do, and we didn't have too much tools or like place to build, but we tried to use whatever we had, and I think that's one reason why I'm not like thinking that I would need all kinds of big tools that I can build something, but I rather like use what I have. So, and that's one um, thing that I would like to inspire people with this channel, that because quite often I hear that people have, like, for example, at school have been doing some woodworking and they was really happy about that, and they got excited, but then when they left the school they have no tools anymore. They think that, well, I can't build anything anymore. So I would like to show that even with simple tools you can build a lot of things, and actually I think it's more enjoyable without big machines. So yes, learning by doing and using simple tools. That's what I have been doing here. What is your plan on your porch? Will you add something? Oh, well, if I think it means about the porch outside the cabin. So there, I don't know if I'm adding anything, but to the loft inside the cabin, I'll add ladders, of course, and some kind of railing there. And as I said, I'm planning to build a greenhouse on the other side of the cabin, and maybe some kind of cover to this side for tools, and for, like, maybe if I need to work with bigger lumber I can do it outside, because this is very small space. Greetings from the US. How often do you find yourself working on the project compared to work and family life? Yes, I think I partly answered for this question, but it really depends on what's going on. I mean, in summer, for example, I was working a lot on the cabin, but now I've been very busy in my business. So, like, last week I had a week off. I didn't work anything in the cabin basically. But now, as I started this window frame, I have been here more. So it's like when you start something, you want to finish it as soon as possible. So, but anyway, sometimes I take a day off from my day work and come here to the cabin. But mostly it's like working 2 hours in the evening here. So, but the really good thing is that this cabin is in my backyard. So, like, my kids come here and we can play in the garden, and I can work at the same time. So it's like really easy to come here and work 1 hour there and 1 hour here. And I know some people hate working like that, but that's a reality. And this YouTube channel is just a hobby for me, so I can't work here all the time. The off-grid hunter. You were going to use it for a workshop, then storage shed, and your kids were playing in it as well. What will be the final proposal? I think you have the answer there. It's everything. I mean, it's gonna be a workshop, but whatever it is, my kids will come here and play here anyway. So, and for storage, I mean mostly for tools and stuff like that. What do you work with in a regular basis? Well, I think I answered already for this. How is life in Finland in general? Actually, a year ago, in the Independence Day, I made a video about Finland, so you can take a look at that. But in general, I think I'm happy to live here, especially as I have kids. I think school system is great, and all the basic things are working pretty well. Maybe in general, the only thing I'm a bit worried about is the populism in the politic field, and that I know it's happening everywhere, but also in Finland, and that's something I'm a bit scared. But anyway, I think we should be happy, and actually for quite many people don't really understand how well our things are in Finland, so we should be happy. When installing the insulation to the floor, did you leave the underside of the cabin as the insulation sheet as you left in the video, or did you end up covering the bottom later on? I didn't. The bottom layer is windshield, so it works perfectly. Otherwise, but of course, most mice and other small animals can get through it if they want, but the insulation should be something that they don't really like. So if it seems to be a problem, I might end up putting some kind of net there. But as far as it works without, I will go without. I'm in my 60s now and not as able as I used to be, but I spent many years in the building trades. I never got to build a cabin though. I wonder what part of Finland you are in. Well, obviously I don't want to tell exactly, but we are in pretty much in the middle of Finland. If you think about like south-north way, so in the middle of Finland, and as you can see, the weather is here. It's pretty good, I think. In southern Finland, winters are really bad nowadays, and it has changed in my lifetime. Actually, I'm 31, and I remember it was different in my childhood, but here it's still alright. Last winter was really bad. We barely get snow. It was really wet, but now it looks better, and usually we have a nice winter here. And well, if you go north, it's even better, and sometimes I would like to live in northern Finland, but I like here. All my family and friends are here, so far we have been here. Alright, that was it. I don't know how long it took. Hopefully not too long, and hopefully you got some kind of answers for your questions. And feel free to leave comments and more questions below, and I try to answer whenever I find time. And yes, well, the next video I think will be about the window. I'm building the frame here and some joinery, and this one was a bit tricky, so I need to fix it a little bit and it will fit perfectly. And I'm very happy once we get the window, I can actually heat the cabin. So, thank you for watching, and please subscribe if you haven't done that yet, and see you next time.